What's up, everybody, and hello and welcome to the Sports Minion Radio Show. It's that time again, 2 o'clock on Wednesday. It's D to the J with Roll Away. And I'm here live on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We are live on Facebook Live and trying to get the audio up for Let Go Radio. So I believe we're live there too, but Miss Winnie's working on it. Not sure what's going on there. We're trying to get some things figured out, so just bear with us as we go here. Got a lot of things to cover today and a lot of sports stories to come out. So I'm going to jump right into here on the things that I'm going to cover. Let me get my promotions done first. Jack Dart Taekwondo Champions is at a new location, and that is 1949 Lynn Haven Parkway in the Parkway Shopping Center. All right, and basically, let's see, we've got that is at the intersection of Lynn Haven and Princess Anne Road. We've got the for any information on Jack Dart's new studio, you can get in with Jack and call and actually get a free week on that, and that is going to be 757-671-1020. So go ahead, feel free to go ahead and check that out. All right, we've got the Caregivers Gala coming up November 16th. The Kelly's Choice Caregivers Gala, November 16th. Grab your formal attire because you know I'm going to be looking good. And come on out to, it is going to be at, let's see, 68. I'm sorry, I'm losing my place here. That is 6801 Bridgeway Drive. That is in Suffolk, Virginia, 23435, and that is from 4 to 8. We're nominating several caregivers in the area, so if you have a caregiver's nomination, get them in fast because this time is just flying by, let me tell you. So make sure that you get those in, and you can get those in to Miss Winnie on her page or on the Kelly's Choice Inc. page also. We have quite a few things with Tiger Martial Arts going right now. Tiger Martial Arts does have the after-school pickup, and if you would like to call to see if your child's school is in the pickup zone, you can call that at 757-488-3882. It is an after-school pickup, and again, you want to call to find out if your kid's school is in the area of the pickup zone, and again, you want to pick your child up by 6 o'clock. A lot of things are provided in there. Call that number to find out pricing and find out exactly what the program entails. All right, so we've got a couple of karate tournaments coming up. I do want to go ahead and mention these. The 8th annual Old School Classic is coming up Saturday, September 21st, 2019 at Lake Taylor High School, 3884 Kempsville Road in Norfolk, Virginia, 23502. New Chinese martial arts divisions, stick fighting, over $700 in prize money. It is $60 for 1 or 3 events, and any additional events outside from the normal 3, which are kata, kumite, and then weapons, is going to be $10 extra. So if you want to add an event, you can do that. The spectator fee is $7. With military ID is with $6. So you guys can come and check that out. For the men's kumite is going to be $400 in cash. The kata grand is going to be $200 in cash, and the women's grand kumite is going to be $100. Registration begins at 8:30. Black belt meeting begins at 9, and the event starts at 10. So make sure that you guys check that out. For more information, you can call 757-717-7294. It's cash only, no refunds, no checks. Guys, come out and check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, now in October, we've got a big tournament by the Grandmaster Jack Dart, Saturday, October 19th, 2019, Atlantic Shores Christian School, 1217 Centerville Turnpike, North Chesapeake, Virginia, 23320. Black belt grand champion expense money. You got to have at least four people in the division for the money. Men's Grand Champion point sparring, going to be $200 in a trophy. Women's Grand Championship point sparring, $200 in a trophy. And then Weapons versus Empty Hand Grand Champion is going to be $100 in a trophy. Guys, make sure you got all your gear, headgear, mouthpiece, leg gear, hand gear, all that stuff. And wear your cup. Come on, be protected. Y'all know this stuff's going to be big. So y'all want to make sure that everything is going on with that, and make sure to come out and check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Registrations begin at 8:30 to 10 a.m. No pre-registration. Black belt meeting begins at 10 a.m. sharp, and competition begins at 10:30, and it begins with the demo team. Competitors' fee is one or all three divisions is $70. No checks, no refunds, cash only. Guys, if you bring in 2 cans of non-perishable food items, you get a $5 discount, and that's going to make it $65. So you guys make sure to come out and support and see a great tournament. Grandmaster Jack Dart puts on a good one. Y'all know he's going to look good in the suit. All right, got one more thing to promote, and I'm doing this for a friend. I promised he would. James, this one is just for you. All right, we've got the WrestleFest coming up, WrestleFest 2019. It is going to be at KC's Music Alley in Fredericksburg, Virginia. There's going to be pro wrestling, cosplay, vendors, live music. Tickets for adults are at $25, and tickets for kids and everyone 10 and under is going to be $12. You guys want to go check this out because there are a load of things going on. It's from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. It's an event that lasts all day, and it's going to be loads of fun. Come out and support my friends. He's actually wrestling in that as well. So let me go ahead and get you the some more of the info of actually who's going to be there. And I've actually got that pulled up right here. We've got a couple of, I'm going to read off just a couple of the appearances. Sid Meier's, Billy Warlock, Bad Boy Carnage, SSP Internet Champion, Psycho Carl, SSP Women's Champion, Nicole Static, SSP Tag Team Champions, Sons of the Rebellion, Rex Keller, and James Harris. Those are my a good buddy of mine. So go out and support James and the rest of the wrestlers in the big event. Go check that out. Again, that's going to be September 14th, and that's going to be from 10 to 10. And please go check him out because it's a lot of fun. He does a lot of shows, and it's a good group and a great organization. So go check him out. All right. So that's basically what we've got promotion-wise. You guys make sure to come out and support the Caregivers Gala as well, as I mentioned earlier. All right, so I got a lot of things to cover sports-wise, and I'm going to start off with a big one. Antonio Brown has been traded yet again. He is now no longer a Raider. He is a New England Patriot. And just hours, or not even 24 hours, or just over 24 hours after being traded to New England, there is a story about Antonio Brown that is not going to help his career. And I feel bad for him because, you know, he's gone through so much stuff and gone through so many, I want to say, you know, trials and tribulations, but it's amazing to me that these things keep happening to him. Let me read a little bit of this. Reported NFL to consider putting Brown on the commissioner's exempt list. The NFL will give serious consideration to placing Antonio Brown on its commissioner's exempt list after the New England Patriots wide receiver was accused of raping his former trainer in a federal lawsuit filed Tuesday, sources told Mark Mask of the Washington Post. If placed on the list, Brown would be paid, but he would not be eligible to play or practice. It is unclear whether the league will make a decision before the New England Patriots' next game, a Sunday matchup with the Miami Dolphins. Potentially placing Brown on the list is something the NFL is going to have to consider or focus on, according to Mark Mask sources. So let me just go into this just a little bit and let's talk about it. And you know, I don't know if this is, how healthy this is going to be for Brown. I know, you're innocent until proven guilty, and I know, a lot is going on, but they got to figure this guy. He's got to figure this out. He just needs to figure out what's going on and figure out why this is. It's just sad because he's had everything happen to him, lately, and basically it's just. Give me just a second here, guys. I'm sorry. But basically, I mean, if he can figure out what's going on, it's like, one thing after another, and it just seems to be compelling him. He just needs to play football and get ahead of this drama. I'm trying to kind of place this as far as, what are we going to do? And it's like, I mean, I'm sad for him, but there comes a time where you've got to be able to either get past because all he's got right now is drama. Everything from the helmet grievances to what happened with Mike Mayock to the fines. Now, in Antonio Brown's defense, the one thing I'm going to say here is this. From what I understand with the Raiders situation, this right here, he was apparently at first he was not fined. He was not going to be fined. And then, as this happened, he apologized to the team, apologized to Mike Mayock, apologized to the organization. And then there were fines levied after he apologized. Was a total of $350,000, and the other thing is, and then they took away his guaranteed money, which was almost $16 million. That, and then the bonuses that he was going to receive, which I believe was, up in that range as well. So basically, he was going to play on a week by week basis, and and he asked for his release. And honestly, I can see why he would. In that situation, I totally understand, and I can see why he would. I could see why he would want to be released. I could see why everything, with that, would want to be. As far as, all that, but now this does not help his career at all, because now it almost seems like there's a dark cloud following him around, and again, innocent until proven guilty. But you look at this and you say, okay, what are we doing now, to move forward from this, because it's going to be investigated, something has got to come out of it, and it's gonna look bad on Antonio Brown unless he's totally innocent. And as those of you join in, I appreciate you joining in with us and everything like that. Thank you for tuning in to the Sports Minion Radio Show. But I really do feel bad for Antonio Brown, because he's so talented and he has so much skill. But the cloud of drama that he's got following him just doesn't seem to go away. So we'll keep it tuned to that and see what happens as things go on. But it's just one of those things where you've got to look and see. So, I mean, innocent until proven guilty. We got to find out, what happens now. And from there, what are we going to do? So let me move over just a minute. And we've got an issue. And this one kind of surprised me, too, because the leagues now are making some decisions. Reported Texans release Colvin in the second season of a 4-year deal for $34 million contract. The Houston Texans are releasing quarterback Aaron Colvin, sources told NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Colvin signed a 4-year, $34 million contract with Houston last season and will receive $7.5 million in guaranteed money despite being cut. Now, here's the thing. The 27-year-old projects best as a slot defender, a role he thrived in behind Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Boyu during a successful stint with the Jacksonville Jaguars. But Colvin has struggled since inking his big money deal with the Texans. The veteran defensive back, who has yet to record an interception in his NFL career, started just 2 games for Houston last year. Finished the campaign as a healthy scratch in the playoffs. Now, here's the thing, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday or last week. You know, if you don't produce, and this is why I said I really think there should be contract incentives, and I believe there are in a lot of them. But I wanted, I think there should be more on the basis of, the player does this, he gets this much money. And you look at, even with New England, the Antonio Brown incentives, if he reaches his 3 goals, one I believe was 1,200 yards receiving, another one was touchdowns, and so on and so forth. I mean, you look at the incentives that they put in. See, and the thing about New England, with Brown going to New England, going back to that and going back to this, is, they're not going to have the nonsense, with letting Brown get away with stuff. Bottom line is, he makes a mistake, he's going to pay for it. And the social media thing is going to be cut because the Patriots don't do that. They've won 7 Super Bowls. They do your job, and they're what they have in place works, and that's the way they do things. What the Patriots have in place works. The players that they have in place follow those directions and do what they're supposed to do. And if Antonio Brown can do that, he's going to have a great season. Because if you look at the incentives for next year is almost $20 million. So, I mean, you look, if they sign him again, to see what's going to happen, we've got to see if he's going to play and the way he's going to play, and can he keep that straight and narrow to go with it. All right, so basically, but if you don't perform, I mean, Colvin for the Texans, 24 years old, if you don't perform, you're not going to play. The NFL is too much of a fast-moving league to understand that people are going to say, look, if he's not there, if he's not performing, if he's not helping the team, we're going to pull him out and we're going to release him. Now, being that he's 24 and young and has a chance to bounce back, here's the thing. Does another team sign him? As far and if another team signs him, will he fit better in their offense? Sometimes it is a case of just you've got to find the right place for yourself, and that's okay. So hopefully he can find someone, for the fit and get in, to that to see what's going on. And I want a couple of other things I want to talk about sports story wise. I look at this. And I took I want to go over to with Nick Foles in Jacksonville, $88 million. Understand this, very important right now. $88 million he was paid, okay, to play for Jacksonville. He goes out in week 1 and injures his shoulder. He's going to miss at least 8 games. Now, I said this last week, looking at Ezekiel Elliott, and yes, Dallas won their game against the Giants. We knew that was going to happen. Dallas has always had a strong defense, but you look at Nick Foles, 1 hit, broken clavicle, everything is where it is, and all of a sudden, he's out for 8 games. Being out for 8 games and having, the backup quarterback come in, I wonder, and I'm trying to hold on to this and say, look, I don't know what the rookie's going to do. 8 games, I can't. $88 million contract. I can't really comment on this because it doesn't matter how good you are as a football player, to be able to come in here and play. And he threw that pass for Jacksonville right off the money, bombed one and connected. So I'm looking at it going, I don't know, where to go here, because it's rough. I mean, it's one of those things where you look at it, oh wow, Nick Foles, $88 million, now he's out for 8 games. So we're trying to figure everything out. And basically, good luck to the rookie, and he's going to handle it. He had 385 yards, in the game, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, so you look at it. I don't know if I can sit here and say, this is how it's going to be. I mean, taking a look at, where, Foles went out, it's sad. It really is sad. I feel bad for Nick, because, he's got a new team. New start. Everything was fine. And now it's over with. I mean, since we're talking about it, let's take a look at the Jaguars Chiefs game. So he came in and scored 26 points minus the 7 that Foles scored for him. But let's take a look at his stats, and I just want to go through this here as I get it pulled up. Let me go down to Jacksonville first. Minshew, you look at this, 22 of 25, 275 yards, not 375, sorry. It was, 2 passing TDs, 1 interception, and he was sacked once. So the quarterback has skills, but can Minshew carry, for 8 games of a season? And does Foles even come back, and now is he, fighting for the job again? So it's a whole nother situation. I also want to talk about the Saints and Texans game. That was a battle. That was one of the best games I've seen in a long time. It was back and forth. 2 lead changes in the last 60 seconds. Let's kick that 58-yard field goal for the Saints win. Guys, don't drop on the Saints, because I'm telling you, with Drew Brees, you're never out of it. And Nick Lutz, he had missed one earlier, but man, did he redeem himself right there. So let's go back and let's take a look at some of the stats from the Saints game. Let me get that pulled up here for you. Give me just a moment to do that, and I will pull these up. All right, let's go to the Saints and Texans. Give me just a second to get it pulled up. Sorry, guys. Computer just taking just a minute. There it is. So the final score on that was 30-28. Let's take a look at the stats now, and we'll give you some stats here too. All right, so basically for Houston, Deshaun Watson, 20 of 30, 268 yards, 3 passing TDs, and an interception. Now, here's the thing. Deshaun Watson was sacked 6 times in this game. You cannot do that. Carlos Hyde, 10 rushes, 83 yards. The wide receivers, again, Kenny Stills, 3 for 37. On DeAndre Hopkins, 8 for 11 and 8 for 111 and two passing TDs. DeAndre Hopkins is a beast. I got to tell you right now. Duke Johnson, the running back, 4 for 33. So you just look. But then let's go down to Drew Brees, 32 of 43, 370, 2 passing TDs, 1 interception. He was only sacked once. Tyson Hill came in, 2 rushes, 8 yards. Murray came in, 6 rushes, 43 yards. Alvin Kamara, the beast from the Middle East, 13 for 97, 7.5 a rush. Jared Cook, let's take a look at the receiving. Tight end, 2 for 37. Ted Ginn Jr., 7 for 101. So, again, the game was just back and forth, and they had everything going for them. I'm looking at this, and I'm going, wow, this game can't get any better. And then you have 2 lead changes in the final 60 seconds of that game. My goodness, what you can't get any better than that. All right, last thing I want to talk about sports-related wise. There's two little stories I have here, and I'm gonna jump over to the AEW title in just a minute, but I want to talk about OBJ for a second for Cleveland. OBJ, during the game, wore a $350,000 watch in a game of football, okay? Now, this was not part of the uniform. They're not sure if there's going to be a penalty, basically. They're going to discuss, he violated a policy with the rules. They're going to discuss it with OBJ. They're going to discuss it with Freddie Kitchens, and they're going to discuss it with the team. Let me explain something. You got a uniform that consists of a jersey, a helmet, shoulder pad, pants, shoes, and socks, and a towel. Leave your $350,000 watch at home. What in the world is wrong with you wearing a $350,000 watch? If that thing breaks, what are you going to do? Just go out and buy another one? Why in the world would you wear a $350,000 watch to a game where you're getting tackled and where you're a receiver? If the ball hit that watch at 58 miles an hour and broke that, come on now. You got to have some common sense not to wear a $350,000 watch in the game. I don't know, OBJ. What are you thinking, man? Goodness gracious. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Don't wear a $350,000 watch at a game. It's a nice watch. I get it. It's beautiful. It should be for $350,000. You can get a house for $350,000. Maybe you might be able to get two. Goodness. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to compose myself, but it's hard to do. 300. Wear your uniform, and that's it, man. Get one of the watches from the dollar store. Just wear that. You know what time it is. It's time to play football. Get it done and do it. My goodness. All right. So we're going to move over to the last story I've got for you, which is the AEW title. And I really want to emphasize this was a wild, wild story. The Tallahassee Democrat is reporting that a 41-year-old Frank Price of Tallahassee, Florida, is the man responsible for finding the AEW World Championship belt. A belt went missing on Sunday, less than 24 hours after Chris Jericho won the belt in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, I believe that is. Price was out celebrating his 41st birthday with his wife when the couple noticed a satin bag on the side of Highway 20. The couple noticed the bag was scuffed and didn't open it until they got home. The couple then Googled the details on the strap, but this was before the news broke of its disappearance. So let's move down here in the story just a little bit. Assuming that it was a costume prop, Price filed the item on Craigslist under Lost and Found. Price proposed for a single photo with the belt. Tuesday night, Price began receiving messages about the posting, but didn't see them until Wednesday morning. Price turned the belt into the Tallahassee Police Department and coordinated with investigators while at TPD. Price ran into Mike Vaughn, owner of the limo company that gave Jericho the fateful ride to Longhorn Steakhouse. Vaughn was also thrilled that Price found the belt and gave him a $200 reward, which made investigators more suspicious. Now, I'm going to stop right here because I want to talk about this. This belt was basically listed around $30,000, maybe a little more. So the limo driver was so happy that he found Jericho's belt 24 hours after winning the thing that he came and went to Vaughn and gave him $200. $200 for a $30,000 belt. Let's do this for hand gesture. $30,000 way up here. $200 is right about way down here. At least give the man $1,000. Come on, have Jericho take his checkbook out, take a picture with him, and write the man a check. $200 for returning the sacred AEW title. This organization ain't even that old, and they already lost the title. Good gracious. All right, that's 29 minutes and 48 seconds that you can't get back in your life. Let's move on to the CP issue that I got for today. All right. So basically, what we're going to talk about CP wise is I titled this "The Grass Is Not Always Greener on the Other Side." All right. What I mean by that, there are a lot of people in the world with CP, and some have spastic, some have other types, some have are affected mentally, some are affected physically and mentally. Some can't walk, some can't open their hands. When you've had a chance to meet people that influence your life in a good way, and they are happy about their lives, that doesn't mean that they need you, an able-bodied person, to tell them how sorry you feel for them and how you wish their lives could be different. And the reason I say that is because for the first 12 years, I would say, when I really, the whole thing was cerebral palsy for me until I was about 15 years old. I would even say 13, actually. I was mad at God, and I always had the thing of, why did you do this to me? Why can't I be different? Why can't I be normal? I'm going to say something here, and I don't know, how many viewers we've got on Let Go Radio, but if you guys want to call in, please do 757-774-7552. I consider my CP as a blessing, okay? Now, I can't speak for everybody that has CP, but I will tell you one thing. For me having CP, I have noticed that when an ambulatory person is on the go and when their life is in a hurry, this world right now is full of so much hustle and bustle and so much go, go, go and do, and I got to work and I got to go and I got to finish and I got my list and I gotta. When you have cerebral palsy, you're forced to kind of take a step back or a roll back, if you will, to look at life in a different perspective. And this is what I say. I say you learn a lot sitting down and you miss a lot standing up. One of my favorite things about CP and one of my favorite things about having this disability is when I talk and I make eye contact with somebody, they always, almost, I would say 90% of the time, try to come to my level. Because they have to stop and they have to realize this person is in a chair and he's sitting down. I need to make eye contact with him. I've got to slow down and hope he doesn't run me over. Now, depending on how bad they piss me off, is how bad I run them over. I mean, I'm just letting you know. That's just the way things go. That's just the way things are. But honestly, to be in life, I've had 9 surgeries. And every time you have a surgery with CP, everything changes, okay? Everything in situations change. How you dress, how you transfer to the bathroom, how you get in your chair. And that's every surgery you have. And a doctor can tell you a million times, this surgery is going to take this long. It's going to be a this long recovery time. But what they cannot announce and what they do not know is how things are going to be different for you when you wake up and you get off of that hospital bed, okay? Now, when I say the grass is not always greener, all right, let me give you an example. Hi, how you doing? Hey, Miss Debbie, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. I've had 9 surgeries, and one of the most irritating things that I got done was called serial casting. Now, what serial casting is they start with your legs bent, and they keep your legs in a cast for 1 week, for a little while, and then I believe they go to 2 weeks after that. So I'm in the cast for a week, and then they straighten my legs out a little more, and then they put the leg in the cast for another week, and then they go to 2 weeks and straighten the legs out a little more until they're as straight as they can get them without, hurting the patient or so on and so forth. So I got the serial casting, okay? Now, I used to basically crawl around with CP. I could get on the floor. I could crawl around. I dressed myself on the floor. Basically, I was able to do everything. Transferring into my chair was hard. the whole 9 yards because I was getting up from the floor. But in retrospect, they say hindsight is 20/20. So basically, we're looking at, my knees are becoming flat because I'm crawling on my knees, which pushes my kneecap up higher than it's supposed to be. So basically, I went through a lot of pain after the serial casting was done because I had muscle spasms and so on and so forth. And I hated the fact that this, that, and the other, and I can't get on the floor because my legs are straight now and they don't want to bend. And I went through this time frame of, God, I should have never gotten this. I should have never gotten this, serial casting done. Well, if you look at it and you take a look at the big picture now, and here's where the issues kind of threw me for a loop, and I went, oh, this is pretty good, and I actually can understand. I was able to dress myself in my chair. I was able to transfer in my chair easier, and because I wasn't getting from the floor to the chair, that became easier. And then the transfers from the chair to the bathroom were easier because, it did help. And you've got to look at the issues and say, okay, was this as bad as I thought it was? There's still some things my mom may not have done, or that she may have gone back and done things a little bit different. But I do understand why she got what she got. Now, a lot of things which are cool about some of the doctors now is they've waited to do a lot of the surgeries that they did when children were younger until they stop growing, because a lot of that can affect the child until they're 18 to 21. And I believe they start doing the surgeries at 21 because that is the technical growing age that a child stops. So if you look at this, okay, and let's go even a little bit further. Say, for instance, that you have a big chair or a bigger chair like one of mine, and you can't get into an area. There's always more than one way to skin a cat, I always say. And I look at this and say, okay, look at the restaurant from the outside. Get the number of the restaurant from the outside, go up to the window or have somebody go up to the window and get the number, and then talk to the district manager of that restaurant, and then talk to the owner. And you keep working and say, listen, I have this chair and I'm trying to get in this restaurant because I like eating here. You guys built it, blah, 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 and I can't get in. Technically, all restaurants are supposed to be wide enough that disabled people can get in. It has to be wide enough for that. Now, a lot of people kind of take this and some abuse it. And I'm not saying that, you shouldn't get your point across, but yelling and screaming at people is not going to get the job done, and condemning them and telling them they're bad people is not going to get the job done. You have to do it professionally, and you have to do it the right way. There's a misconception, though. And I got an email. I want to read this email, and this is from Miss Madison of Brookridge, Illinois, and she actually Brockridge or Brookridge. I'm not sure if that's what that is, but basically, she asked me, with cerebral palsy, I always wish I could walk. I'm so tired of being in my chair. It's hard because everything is hard to do from the chair, whether it's dishes or cleaning the house. Do you wish you could walk with CP? And I just wanted to know your opinion. All right, so let me explain something. For a long time, Ms. Madison, for a long time, I actually wanted to walk, okay? And I'll be honest, yes, I still want to walk. Is it at the top of my list? No. A lot of people assume that because you have cerebral palsy, the thing at the top of your list that you want is to be able to walk. And it may be that, that is the case for some people. And I'm saying this because this for me was a biggie. There was a church that I used to go to where the pastor said, God's going to heal you, God's going to use you, God's going to heal you, God's going to use you. And for years, That was the mindset that I had. God's going to heal you. God's going to use you. I went to a church here right down the street, and I was in the meeting with the pastor one time, and he said this: God doesn't need to heal you to use you. I don't know where you heard that, but that's wrong. God uses the blind, God uses the sick, God uses those who can't walk, and he can use anybody to fit into his plan any way he wants to. That was about 5 years ago that I heard that. And it had been drilled into my head, he'll use, he'll use, he'll use, he'll use, that I'd forgotten. And it's in Scripture that God uses all types of people. So I basically have a different outlook on life now, in the sense that life is funny. You go through life and you stay mad at somebody, or you stay mad at a situation which doesn't really solve the issue. But if you take a look at life and you realize what the real problem is, because your CP is not going to change unless God allows it to. But it also says that God helps those who help themselves. There are people that have CP that have no use of their legs and no use of their arms, but are some of the sharpest minds in the world. And they don't let their drawbacks or the problems that they have or face stop them from doing what they want to do. And it's an amazing sight to me to sit here and read this email that Miss Madison sent me, because walking doesn't matter. We all walk miles every day, but everybody wears different shoes. And that's the thing you have to think about. Everybody has a different way of getting where they need to go to. Whether it's Kelly from Kelly's Choice, whether it's Miss Winnie, whether it's my mom, whether it's me, whether it's my wife. If we want to do something bad enough and we believe in something bad enough, it is actually, better for us to look at the situation that we're in, because most people do this. Most people go through life trying to get through the end of the day. Okay? They have a job that they hate because they wanted to settle. They're not happy with their job. They're not happy with where they are. They always want to get somewhere else. They always want to get to another place that's going to be greener or better on the other side. Here's the issue with that. If you spend your life trying to get somewhere else, if you spend your life trying to get through the end of your day, if you spend your life trying to get to somewhere that you're not, you're going to miss the great moments where you are. You're gonna miss the great moments that you're living in. You're gonna miss the great moments that are passing you by second by second, minute by minute, wishing you could get to those greener pasture where the grass is going to be greener on the other side. And then you get to the other side and you go, oh my God, where did the time go? One of the questions that I ask myself all the time, I'll be 38 years old in December. And I take a look at my life, and I'm pretty thankful because I've had an awesome life so far. I'm live on Facebook Live and Let Go Radio with the Sports Minion Radio Show, talking to people about cerebral palsy and about issues. And I'm getting the words across through Kelly's Choice, and I've publicly spoke to people. Here's the thing. I was sitting in this room yesterday, and I was working on my gaming channel, Chairmaster Games, and I got a bunch of videos put up, and I did some video camera game work, but I took a minute and I went, holy cow, I'm going to be 38 years old in a couple of months. Where did the time go? Time is something we always want, we can never have enough of, and we can never get it back once we've lost it. So what people need to remember is, regardless of the problems that you face, whether it's disability, whether it's spina bifida, whether it's CP, whether it's Down syndrome, whether it's ALS, you could think you have the worst hand dealt to you, period. But I guarantee you there's someone else suffering more, and there's someone else going through some of the same things you are that you're going through right at this moment. But there's two ways you can look at it. There's two ways you can look at this life experience. One of the coolest things about my brother, and I love saying this, and I wish I had this ability, but I don't. He lets almost nothing affect him. He's able to let something bounce off of his shoulders like that, and he's able to go to the next thing. He's able to process a situation more differently than anybody I've ever seen, and able to make sense out of the situation and still go. Me, I kind of live in it, and I've got to get. I want to get it fixed now, and I want to see where, I can't, always see that big picture that's here because I make it this big, and it's not really. So looking at somewhere, okay, let's take the job situation for a minute. Everybody wants a high-paying job. Everybody wants to make, $30 an hour, $40 an hour. But the job that you're in, if you pay your bills and you save the money and don't buy extravagant things, and I've done it too. Trust me, I was horrible with money in my 20s. I've done a lot of things that I shouldn't have done. I've made a lot of mistakes, but here's the thing. I've learned from them, okay? I've learned from those mistakes. In the situation of money, if you save it and you put it away and forget about it, I'm not talking about just investing. I'm not talking about doing stuff like that. I'm talking about putting the money in the bank and let it sit there and don't touch it. You're going to build up. It's going to take time. My brother taught me this. When I first started saving, how I had to build up was I took $20 out of my paycheck and I put it in an envelope. Okay? And over 12 months, you take 12 months at $20. Let's get the old calculator in. You take 12 months at $20. I think that's 120. Let me just take a look. I'm going to do a little math here. Yeah, 240. Sorry about that. That's $240 in a year. Now, you take $30, or you look at your, and see, here's the thing. I started budgeting about, it's been probably about 10 years ago now. And being able to budget, and look, sometimes you're going to need help. People have got to get out of the I can do everything myself motive. Sometimes, and Miss Winnie has said this, Miss Winnie has made this point, sometimes you're going to need help, and it takes a village. Sometimes you're going to need people in your corner. Sometimes you're going to need people to help you get up off the ground. Sometimes you're going to need help, but that doesn't mean you take advantage of the people around you, okay? God's going to provide, and I'm not trying to preach to anybody, and if this don't work for you, pray to whoever you pray to or believe in whoever you believe in. I get it. But what I'm saying is, if you take a moment and you look at your situation, the grass is not always greener on the other side. That better job that you pay for, that you get higher pay, you got to look at the hours. You got to look at the location. You got to look at the insurance and the benefits. You got to look at all of that. So the job that you think is better may not be better in the long run. The situation that you think, the living situation that you think may not be better in the long run because of the rent, because of the location, because the bathroom may be too small. You've got to make sure to look at the entirety of the picture before you make a decision and say, this is going to be a better move. Now, in a situation, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes you got to keep pushing, and sometimes you just got to fight through. There are a lot of tests in this world, and there are a lot of things in this world. At the time they happen, they don't make sense. I remember moving into this place that I'm in right now and saying, man, I need a handicap apartment. I need a handicap apartment. This is just not working. Stuff is too small. And lo and behold, I got a handicap apartment. There are great things about this handicap apartment, great things, but there are things I don't like. You look at a situation and you have to see and weigh the pros and cons. And one of the greatest things that you can do when you're struggling for a situation or you're trying to make a situation better and you're trying to look at the pros and cons of something, take a notebook like this, get a piece of paper, and write down the pros and cons of the situation. Write down all the good things that you like and write out the bad things that you don't like, and try to weigh the situation and see really where you are. Because, and I'm the king of this right here, because I worry about everything. Worrying don't do nothing but give you wrinkles and make you sick. I'm going to tell you right now, worrying doesn't do anything but make you sick and give you wrinkles, and it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing, because the situation is exactly the same as it was when you started worrying, and the situation is the same as it was when you're done worrying and you haven't done anything. I'll give you a classic example. I got my car inspected yesterday. I had a light, my ABS light on my Buick Terrazza kept coming on. And I'm trying to figure out, I need new brakes, but my brakes are okay. I said, all right. I said, here's what I'm going to do. I took it to the Canadian branch, which is a great car company. They've done a lot of work for me. And here's the thing. I found out, got my car inspected, everything passed. All I had to get was new wiper blades. And I found out that there are two sensors, a left brake sensor and a right brake sensor. And the sensors themselves went bad. My brakes are fine, no problems. They squeak a little bit, they rub a little bit, but I've got plenty of pad left. All that's good, passed inspection, good for another year. Each sensor is $450 a piece. And for those of you who need to add, that's $450 and $450, that's $900 plus tax plus labor. So you're probably talking about probably $1,000 to $1,100, everything done, get the sensor put in there, all that stuff for a sensor. Bill said this. Bill said, your brakes are fine. Don't worry about it. The light can stay on. I called my buddy Richard Baldwin over at Minster, Virginia. He said there are probably 50% of people in this world driving with ABS lights on, because all you need to do is pump your brakes when you're on ice, and a lot of people don't do that. So here's the way. Now, how can you solve it? I know a lot of because my car is important. How can I solve the situation? My roommate and I were talking, and this deals with CP. This deals with any disability you want to talk to. Here's the situation. You got $900. You divide $900 in half. That's $450. Once I get my credit card paid down and everything is good where I want it, I may replace a sensor one at a time. If you replace a sensor one at a time, that's $450 instead of $900. Okay? So you look and you say, how can I solve this situation? Again, I will talk to my brother. My brother said, you did the right thing. You didn't waste the money. Richard said, you did the right thing. You didn't waste the money. Bill said, you did the right thing. And this guy is at the dealership. The Bill said, you did the right thing. You didn't waste the money. So you have to look and let the situation play out. There's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, but if you can't see it, that doesn't mean you can't believe it's there. Sometimes you just have to take a roll back, or you have to take a step back and take a deep breath and stop. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. Sometimes you just got to pray about a situation. Sometimes you got to let God handle it, because I can't do it. I can't fix anything with it. So it is what it is. And again, this is just for me. I'm not trying to preach to anybody. But to be honest, and as I end this broadcast real quick, the grass is not always greener on the other side. And the reason I say that is because so many people are trying to get somewhere else that they don't take a look at the moment in the now. Miss Madison, thank you for your email. And just keep fighting. You know, if you're going to walk, you're going to walk. And you want to walk, one day you will, and I believe that. But walking isn't everything. You can still get to where you need to go. But like I said, the grass is not always greener on the other side. Enjoy the moments that you have. Enjoy the moments that you're in. And life is going to be tough sometimes. It's going to be tough. It's going to be finished, you know. But eventually, you're going to get through. And you're going to go where you need to go and get exactly where you need to be. Guys, you can reach me on My Facebook like page is Sports Minion Radio Show at facebook.com. I'm live every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. You can reach me at email, the Sports Minion Radio Show at yahoo.com. You can call into the radio station, leave me a message, send me a message. I love talking to you guys. If you guys want more topics, if you guys want more CP topics, let me know. Call me, do me a favor, email me, go to my YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel, the Sports Minion Radio Show. Go check that out. I put those up every time. Please make sure that you go and check those out. Any questions that you have, don't feel free to comment in and ask me. I'm every Wednesday live at 2 o'clock on Let Go Radio and Facebook Live. Guys, this is D to the J with the roll away, saying we'll see you when we see you. Make sure to check out all those tournaments at the beginning of the show that I mentioned. Make sure to check out WrestleFest. My buddy James is going to be there, Tag Team Champions. Y'all check it out. I listed a bunch of names where it's going to be September 14th. Y'all get ready. 10 to 10, going to be a great event. Get ready for the Caregivers Gala. That's coming up November 16th. We got tournaments coming up. Jack Dart, his birthday battle, October 16th. We got the 21st. We got the Old School Classic, so y'all be sure to check them out. Guys, if you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. This is D to the J with a roll away, saying I'll see you when I see you. Peace. We'll see you next week.